Today on Medium at Heart, a viewer shares how one of our episodes helped her find the courage and confidence to follow her intuition. And Annette tells us how a pair of glasses connected a loved one during an emotional moment, and how a dad and daughter connected after he passed. And why is there pizza on the set? Well, we love pizza.
Yes, we do. We love it.
There's a reason the pizza's here, as you know by now. I'm Angela Manfredi.
And I'm Annette Manfredi.
My sister is a medium.
And I connect you to your loved ones on the other side.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
We have a lot to cover on this episode.
I know we do. It's a good one.
Okay, so first, let's start with really incredible viewer feedback that we got from a listener who watched our most recent episode. It was called How to Create a Fulfilling and Fabulous Life. So one of our listeners, tuned it in the car, as many of you listen while you're in the car to our podcast, and unexpectedly stumbled over something that it sounds like she needed to hear. And Annette, you have the text.
I'm actually going to read it because I want to make sure that I get it, right, and you feel it. So she wrote, she said, "You have to know this. I downloaded the recent episode to listen to on my way home a few days ago and never got to it. Today, I finally was able to say what I've been feeling so long, that I'm not happy doing what I'm doing career-wise and I need to move on. I've been talking about this all day to everyone. No idea what the podcast would be about. I played it in the car and you girls were talking about careers. How crazy is that? I'm at peace now." Isn't that so nice?
Oh, yes. I'm so happy for her, and we really love your feedback and your stories and your questions.
Yes. I mean, I get just as much peace as they do. You can make a difference. I feel like we all need as much help as we can get in this life.
Yes. And we like to say we're your audio visual hug.
Yes.
We'd like to be that for you. And we do invite you to follow us on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube, and we're on TikTok because we're cool like that.
Yes.
We're cool like that. And we have our Gmail address is mediumatheart@gmail.com. And we want to do a shout out to producer Ben. We don't thank Ben enough, but Ben, thank you for all that you do here at the Medium at Heart podcast.
I love this podcast.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you. Okay, so the pizza on the set. As part of this podcast, Annette and I love bringing food into it because we love to eat. We love good food. We also think that food is a way of celebrating your loved ones who've crossed over. And sometimes there's a lot of meaning in certain foods. And because my sister, you got your gift from Mom, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, and I feel like also bringing food into it, like you create and remember so many stories sitting around a table eating.
Yes,
just like we're going to talk about it now. A memory that we have sitting around a table eating pizza, right?
Yeah, when we were little, when we were living in Irvington, New Jersey, every week, and I think it was Friday night, we'd walk down the street and over a few blocks, and there was a pizzeria named Marie's Pizzeria. And it's no longer there, but it is there in our heart and in our soul and in our minds because this was a place where memories were made.
Yes, definitely. And it's interesting, just like here when we reminisce about something that happened so long ago, when your loved ones on the other side come through, they could talk about something that happened yesterday or something that happened that long ago. It's just whatever they feel like talking about and remembering, So that's good. Wait, do you remember in Irvington, especially Saturday nights, the phone would ring off the hook? Remember the long cord on the phone in the kitchen?
It was a dial phone. I think it was yellow.
And we had a number so similar to a pizzeria. I don't think it was the pizzeria we went to, but anyway. And Mom finally, she picked up the phone and she would take the pizza orders in her Irish brogue.
Yes.
And we thought, I thought that was the funniest thing ever. So she would take these orders, and then I'm sure people were wondering where their pizza was.
Yeah.
Or when they went, they went to go pick up their pizza and it wasn't there. But that was fun.
That was funny because so people think they're calling a pizzeria.
Yeah.
And the woman with an Irish brogue is answering and then taking their order.
And then since then, it was like something we looked forward to.
It was funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was funny. But eventually it all got straightened out. But Mom had the most wicked sense of humor, funny, and intuitive.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why we wanted to bring pizza to the set today, and there is really delicious pizza in there. This is from Joseph's local here in Boca Raton.
Yes.
So
enjoy it.
Yes, enjoy whatever food it is, whatever moment that you want to sink into that helps you celebrate and remember your loved one. And Annette, you have a really incredible story. You have a couple stories that you're going to share with us today.
So I have a story about a friend of mine. Her mom passed away, and I went to the wake. And there was a lot of people there. So her and her sister were sort of in the hallway, like greeting people as they came in the door. So her and her sister, obviously, they came up to me, and I said, okay, listen, your mom is so strong. And she was a force in life. Same exact energy there that I felt. I said, I have to tell you that she's saying, quote unquote, look where they put my glasses. And they started to laugh and cry. So when it was time to go up, and pay my respects, she said, look, when we came here, we didn't know where to put her glasses, so we put them on her shoulder.
And that's the message.
That was the message. That as soon as I walked in the door, waiting in the hallway to go into the room, I said, I have to tell you this because she's insistent I tell you. And that was the story. And they just, till this day, and this was a long time ago, love that, she came through powerful. And that was her sense of humor and their sense of humor too, because they didn't want to put the glasses on her. She said, so they just put them on her shoulder because they didn't know what to do with them. And she said, look what they did look where they put my glasses. Funny, right?
Oh, I have to imagine that was so.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah, and for the family to hear that.
Yeah.
And she came right through.
Oh, she was strong, just like in life, though. I'd met her in life. She was very strong, very great, funny woman, and still is, just not here on the other side,
And you have another story. So it seems like moms of course, they're such a huge part of our lives, and our mother and our dad too. But I feel like Mom, because you got your gift from Mom, because she was an intuitive, and she had this gift too.
Yes, she did.
We end up talking a lot about moms. And you have another story about someone that we know who connected with her dad.
So this story, a lot of the stories stay with me because I just feel so impacted by them, just like the other, the person I'm reading for. So this is a family member, and she had lost her dad when she was 3 or 4. So she says she doesn't have many memories at all of him. But, when we would gather for holidays, he would be a guest as well. So I would give her messages. So it's like she got to know him, and I sort of got to know him through me. And she, years later, she had a son, and she said to me, I named my son after my father because I was able to get to know him through you.
Oh, wow.
That meant a lot to me. I'm very lucky that I'm able to do that. And she said, and I have such peace now. I feel like I know him. And she talks to him.
That has to be so important for her, because he died a young man.
Yeah, so she said, and she only had a few pictures with him. And she's like, I have very few memories that I remember. She's like, her family kept his spirit alive and would talk about him often. But they were stories to her, not experiences. But now she says, I got to know my dad through you, and I named my son after my dad.
That's just so meaningful and emotional and beautiful that she's able to do that.
Yes. Yeah, there's, they're so powerful on the other side and loving. Like I know, like when a father figure comes through, because I feel the love of dad. When a mother figure comes through, I'll feel the love of mom. Like, so I know to say, okay, I have a mother figure here, I have a father figure here. Same with grandparents. I would feel granny's love, so I'd say, okay, a grandmother figure. That's how I'm able to say that to people. And then they usually, they'll give me initials. They're very big with initials. And sometimes people won't be able to validate them, and I'll say, can you sound out the name? Can you tell me more? And they're very good with that. They do. They usually do,
And it doesn't happen right away. Like if you do a reading with someone and you get a letter or you get some keywords, it's not always in the moment. Like they could come back to you later and say, oh, that's what this was.
That happens often. That's why I tell people just write everything down. I'm throwing a lot of things at you, and you may think that you're very alert with it, but it's an emotional process. But I always say the other side tells the truth, and I promise you'll have your aha moments, and I have a great story about a dad who came through. So I had done a reading many, many years ago for someone, and his stepfather came through, and they're funny. Like if they're funny here, they're funny there. So I try my best to be, funny when I say it. But so he said, tell the family it's okay about the shoes, about the arguing about the shoes. The shoes are fine that I have on my feet. And he also said he loves fishing. He's still fishing, and it's beautiful. And so he's, the person receiving the messages was able to validate. And he said, okay, me, my siblings, and my mom were arguing over what shoes to bury him in.
Oh.
And we couldn't figure out what shoes to bury him in. So he said, I'm okay with the shoes. And then they had purchased him a ticket to go fly fishing in Montana. And he just loved it. And he said it was absolutely beautiful. Why he said he's fishing, and it's really nice there, right? When he was here. And I always try and leave my clients and or friends with like one last. I try and get one more validation for them before we end the call. So in my head, I say, okay, can you give me one last? And he said, say, what is that strong smell? So I said, okay, I'm repeating this. Your stepdad said, what is that strong smell? And he said, prior to me calling, he had walked in the office and they were testing out a cleaner. And he said, what is that strong smell?
Mic drop.
Mic drop. I was even like, in my head, I said, wow, that was great. Thank you so much.
That was very clear.
That was clear. Like that was a full sentence.
And complete validation.
On point. Just, yes.
That I know it feels great for you when that happens
absolutely.
Too.
Definitely.
Yeah, so parents are such a huge part of, I know that the readings that you do. And what I love that you do is that you're able to connect people and help them with that sense of comfort of whether it's a parent they didn't know very well or a parent that maybe the relationship in this life was more complicated.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because that happens frequently.
I think I've found in all the readings that I've done that does happen because everybody has a story. No life is perfect, but they come through with such peace that it helps you heal here. And you have, I think you have you can have a nice relationship with your loved ones on the other side, perhaps better than here. And then they'll send you a million signs because you'll get to know them or you'll feel better about the relationship or you'll want to. So yeah, it's a blessing.
Well, one of the questions, we're starting to get viewer questions now. And one of the questions is, what are they like on the other side? Like I would ask you, if they died of an illness, if they passed of an illness, what are they now like on the other side?
Okay, great question. I get asked this a lot. So I'll explain the other side too quickly. And I know I've said this before, but I just want you to know the beauty of it because it's not only beautiful what they see, it's beauty of what they are. So just imagine the most gorgeous ocean you've ever seen. And whether you visited there or you looked at a picture or you've seen it on TV, it's breathtaking. Well, there it's just a million times more vibrant. Just just the human eye can't even imagine it. It's so beautiful. And from what I've been told in all the years that I've done this, we sort of shell all the we leave the negativity and illness when we sort of shed our bodies here. Like our souls are so peaceful, pure, and full of love and light. And interestingly, and I've asked this question a million times to our loved ones on the other side, what do you look like? So I just get the same answer. They're younger. I feel like they're in their 30s at their best point in life, I guess, that you could be in your 30s, because that's the energy I feel always. However, when they come through as you would recognize them. They wouldn't come, let's say, like mom and dad, when they come through, or they, I see them or feel them, they wouldn't come to me looking like they're in their 30s. They'd come to me as I remembered them last.
Wow.
Yes.
That's interesting, because when I think of our parents, I think of them as the last time I saw them.
And when I do readings, that's how they'll come through. They'll come through as you, my client and or friend, family member, would recognize and remember them.
But healthy.
Does that make sense?
And vibrant, right?
Oh, just full of love and light. It's absolutely, yeah. No more negativity, no more illness, no more anything like that. They left that here.
See, I think that's really important for people too. Not only are people able to, through you, connect with their loved one who's crossed over, but a lot of the peace, I think, comes from knowing that they're at peace, that they're okay.
100% they are, because they tell me they are, and they give such great validations when I'm talking to people that it's the truth. An extension of that question is they want to know, like somebody had asked me, well, how are they looking over me, and then perhaps looking over, guiding my family members who perhaps live across the pond or something. And I say, well, it's like they have magical powers. They can pop in to see if you're okay and help you, and then they can pop in and see if your family members are okay. That's how I can explain it. I feel like they have magical powers.
Oh, that is so incredible. That is very, very, it's very heartfelt. And I just love the peace and serenity that you get from knowing that, because that's the question so many of us have.
Oh, yes.
And okay, so I want to make sure that we get to everything we wanted to talk about in this episode.
Okay.
Because we did get what was this other? Oh, this is what I want to ask you about. I do want to talk about something kind of a little from what we talked about last time about, remember how you talked about your imagination meditation?
Yes.
Which I have been doing.
Very proud of you.
To my sister.
Yes.
I've been doing my imagination meditation. And I am able to, through that, conjure up that feeling that you say, that all-important feeling that is so safe. Mm-hmm. And I know something that you like to tell your clients at the when you're wrapping up the reading and you're sending them forward with this great information is your feel-goods.
So I always tell everybody, and I practice this too, look, we can't feel good all the time, right? It's impossible. But if you incorporate, do this. If you incorporate 3 feel-goods this week, and what feel-goods are your favorite song, your favorite people, a funny video, a great movie, dinner at your favorite restaurant with your favorite family members or friends, incorporate 3 of those into your week and just feel good. And even if it lasts a minute, just feel good, because when you feel that feeling, right, you're in alignment, and then everything comes through. When I used to coach cheer, and we used to have to prepare for competition, it's intense, right? Because you're in it to win it. And I remember seeing the stress on these girls' faces, and I'm like, they shouldn't be feeling this much stress. They're, in junior high and middle school, and so I remember one cheer practice, I sat them all down and I said, okay, what's your favorite holiday? And they all agreed it's Christmas. And I said, okay, so there's only 2 things that you have to do from now until competition. One is practice and smile like it's Christmas. So the next practice and everyone following, I would say, okay, what do we have to do today, girls? Just smile like it's Christmas. And you could see some of the anxiety lifting, and they started to smile and feel good because that's a really good memory of them to go back to that exciting feeling. And I remember when you have like a minute before they hit the mat at competition, and we would all stand in a circle and hold hands, and I would say, just smile like it's Christmas. And they went out and they had a really good time and they enjoyed it. And I feel at any age, you should, what's your favorite holiday? Is it Christmas? Is it your birthday? Or any favorite day you have? Just smile when you remember it. Again, even if that smile just lasts a minute, you're going to feel so much better by the end of the week. And good things will happen. Unexpected things could happen. It could be expected things that you were waiting for, that you were manifesting or wishing for. But that's the key to it. Just have feel goods. It works, I promise.
I would listen to her.
Yeah.
I would definitely listen to that, because when you feel good, you bring that, you have that sense of peace.
Yes.
And you're in a positive is a word we do throw around a lot, but when you are in that place where you're most connected to yourself, good things happen because you have that good energy and you're putting that good energy out.
Yes.
And you're taking that good energy in.
Yes. Again, it may not last the whole day, but you'll notice when you incorporate feel goods into your life, they'll last longer and longer, and you'll want to do them more and more.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
You have your homework assignment.
You have your homework assignment
for this week.
And continue sending me messages about your stories and how you love my stories and everything you can connect to, and about your feel goods. I want to hear about it.
Yes, we do so love hearing from you. mediumatheart@gmail.com. That's our email address. We are on all the socials. Well, we're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. You could feel free to direct message us or leave comments. And Annette also does postings on there as well that we think you'll get a lot out of. But we really love hearing from you. Follow us on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much. That was a